I would like to understand, what is the secret of motivating young people to go vote? Is it to explain how great Europe has been in the past for them and what it has meant for them? Is it to make them angry about all the things that are wrong with Europe? Is it to touch on their feeling of obligation to go to the polls, or to feel the right to vote? Urte, what would you say? What is the secret?
Voting is not only responsibility, but it's also an enjoyable activity that a youngster can do together with friends or family. I think other thing, which is one of the arguments why young people go to vote these days, is what is happening in Belarus right beside us in the neighboring country. I think that for youngsters, it's a very big and important example of how vulnerable democracy can get if you don't exercise it. So I think it is both the responsibility of voting as well as an enjoyable activity of voting.
Iris, I saw you nodding.
I just can state the same thing, and I think it's important that you try to fetch these young people where you can get them. So the way you do your campaign, the way you do your action is counting a lot when you want to get young people on board for voting. Yes. Social media, for example.
And Simon, to make young people go vote, it's not only you should only make them understand that they can change something, but also that their vote matters and will lead to a different outcome. But yeah, if you're only just one of 350 million voters, how do you get that feeling?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you make young people feel that what they do matters? And for us, the solution was to create articles that would be fun to read, but also informing at the same time. And I think that might be the way forward.
And Stefano, it's from your project. It really stems, not only do you want young people to vote, you have an ideal for Europe yourself. Did you only motivate young people to vote if they agree with your way of looking at Europe, or also if they completely disagree with you?
Well, I think that speaking about values is speaking about the reason Europe is important, and we all belong to us. It's a great project. We can the sharing. And you can motivate if you create enthusiasm in common ground and values. And I think everyone can agree on the common values of equality, solidarity, peace that found Europe.
Yes. And Urte, young people are sometimes really impatient, but European policy making is, well, you need patience for that. There's always a compromise where all the member states and all the parties have to agree to. How do you bridge those worlds between young people and the European policy making process?
I think, first of all, Europe is not about only policy. So I think for youngsters, Europe is also about being able to move around what we couldn't do while we were in Soviet Union. We couldn't move to the western side of Europe. So I think for us, it is more about like bigger opportunities that the young people can get. So I think bridging the gap between the policy making and the young people is as well showing that Europe is actually close to them, showing the ways that they can access it. Is it through Erasmus Plus or through different mobility or any kind of activities that comes from the European Union level down to them, and just maybe not talking with them about things that are not, youth policy related at some point, to not get them very bored.
How important is it that there is a European way of talking about the future? Most of the debates are very national. I'm from the Netherlands. Our European elections are nothing about Europe. It's just about the Netherlands. Is it important, Simon, or is it okay if the debates in all 27 countries are different? Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry about that. Well, I think what we did, we created a magazine that was published in German, so it was catering to German and Austrian audiences, and that's okay. But I think in the future we will have to lead many debates in all member states together, and I think there's a good reason why there's startups and publications popping up all across Europe trying to translate different articles or debates, and I think that the language barrier might just be the most the biggest threat to establishing a European debate, and that is certainly something that we will have to look at in the future.
Yes. And Iris, sometimes when we have debates about Europe, you see all the members of the European Parliament of different parties standing shoulder to shoulder saying, but Europe is really important, and you don't really see the difference in their ideals and where they want to bring Europe. Is there enough vision for Europe for young people to appeal to?
I think, honestly, there could be more.
Okay.
I think there is a vision, and we have done quite some steps in Europe to grow together, despite all the language troubles, which will be there, and we need a lingua franca. But still, I think that we would like to have, also for young people, which take Europe and living together and traveling all around and moving wherever they want for just granted, which was not the case when I was 20. And now, what's the next step? How do we continue? What's the vision?
The vision. It's very important to get young people. Stefano, are you already looking forward to get young people to the polls in 2024?
Yeah, of course. And we have created a team and we can work on it in the future.
Well, congratulations, and we hope to learn all from you and hope that the turnout in the next elections is even higher than 1999. Thank you so much and congratulations. And then let's move to our second category, which is all about inspiration.